the Champions League is back, boys and girls. Game week 6 is here. And this is a great moment for the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth teams to basically cement themselves, going directly through to the round of 16. If you're here, if you're 7th to about 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18th, hey, this is your final moment to maybe close the gap a little bit before the last 2 game weeks. But if you're basically here, voila, you know what? Fries, bag, right now. Right now. Put some ketchup as well. Put some mayo as well, right now. It's done, it's over. Just that little dream of going to the playoffs, bag fries. I said it, enough. Stop dreaming about something that's never going to happen. But listen, as we always do before every single game week, we are going to be previewing and predicting every single game. And myself, I'm going to be giving you my predictions, what I think is going to happen, who I think is going to win from tomorrow's games, and of course, Wednesday's games. Before we go any further, make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and make sure you comment your own predictions and your own thoughts. At the moment, just looking briefly at the table, I think Arsenal has cemented themselves pretty much clear to go straight away to the top 8. But Paris Saint-Germain, Bayern, and Inter, same thing as well. Real Madrid, Dortmund, Chelsea, they've got above 50% chance, but teams like Barcelona, teams like Liverpool, teams like Atletico, Newcastle, listen, you need 2 wins. I don't think 1 win is enough. You need 2 wins if you really want to make it in the top 8. And let's go straight for the first game tomorrow between Kairat and Olympiacos. And I think this might be the first ever game. I might be wrong, but this might be one of the first ever games that Champions League is being played at 3:30. Of course, time zones in Kazakhstan. Kairat against Olympiacos. Okay, this one, let's just go straight into it. Let's not even waste any time. Both teams, brother, as I said, fries, bag, bro. Both teams have got no chance, but because the game is being played at home, I'm going to give it to Kairat. I don't know, maybe just home atmosphere, you know what I mean? Conditions. I'm going to go with Kairat. Bayern versus Sporting Lisbon. And this game for Sporting, I think Sporting is close. Yeah. Sporting close, bro. 8th. Listen, no one is expecting Sporting to win, but if they lose the next 2 games, they have to win. And the next 2 games is what? The next 2 games is against... After that is against Paris Saint-Germain and Bilbao. Bilbao is winnable, but Paris Saint-Germain is actually a difficult game. Bayern is on smoke. Bayern is on form. And with the loss against Arsenal last game week, of course, they want to make it up for it in the Champions League. Harry Kane got rested in the Bundesliga, but came off the bench, scored a hattie. So you kind of know what mood he's at and what vibe he's playing at. I'm going to be real. Bayern Munich to win this game, and I think it's going to be by a 3-4 goal scoreline. Then we have Atalanta versus Chelsea. Big game. This is one of the biggest games of the game week, just for context reasons. First of all, Atalanta have done better than anyone have thought they would be. I'm going to be real. I never expected Atalanta to do this well without Gasperini, without them, the main man, basically, the man who made them tick. Chelsea, I can't lie, the last win against Barcelona surprised me. You kind of expected Chelsea to be around that top 8 position, especially with that schedule, because Bayern, everyone had them losing, but Karabakh, everyone had them winning. And then the Barca game was basically 50-50. They managed to beat Barcelona, so right now, they're in that 7th position, but with 10 points. Chelsea, the last 3 games, it's not been great. It's not been game. Ever since the Arsenal game and Barcelona games, Leeds look cheeks. Bournemouth looked very disappointing. So now this is a game for you to bounce back. In the Champions League, they tend to do better. I feel like Enzo Maresca, the big games, this is a big game, by the way. They tend to do better. Cole Palmer will start the last game. Whether he's 100%, I don't know. But this is a massive game for Chelsea, because if you don't win this game, you look at the schedule, and who do they have next month? They've got Paphos, easy. Okay, you know what? Paphos is slight work. Napoli away from home, and depending on how Napoli is going to be, hey, that game's going to be very tough. But for Chelsea, they must win this game to at least put themselves in a great position. Because if they win today's game and the Pafos game, which is winnable, the game against Napoli wouldn't matter that much because they would have already basically secured a top 8 position. So for that reason, I'm going to go with a Chelsea win. I do think Chelsea will win, and Atalanta, I think they lost against Verona, if I'm not mistaken. I think they lost against Verona, 3-1. Surprise result against Verona. So I'm going to go with a Chelsea win for that one. There you go, Barcelona versus Frankfurt in a very important game for Barcelona because at the moment, you look at where they are at 18th. Bad. They started well, picking up 2 wins, but after that, look at this. 2 wins, but after that, draw to Club Brugge, which they should have won. And a Chelsea result, they got absolutely dominating. Arujo, stinker in the Champions League every single year. Are we surprised? Hell no, we're not. But Barcelona, this is a game for 2 reasons. One, it's a revenge game. It's a revenge game. If you guys remember what happened a couple of years ago in the Europa League, Barcelona played Frankfurt, I think quarterfinals, round of 16, one of these two. I'm pretty sure it's quarterfinals. Oh, round of 16, one of them two. And Barcelona lost at the new camp. And if you guys remember back in the day, Barcelona, they sold most of the ultras, they sold the ticket to Frankfurt fans. Frankfurt was making, it felt like a home game for Frankfurt. Hence the reason why Barcelona got absolutely outplayed in that game. It felt like a home game because every single Barcelona fan and every single ultra, they basically sold all of the tickets to the German fans. And imagine a game in Spain between Barca and Frankfurt, and that's more Frankfurt fans than Barcelona fans. That was basically one of the most embarrassing moments, I think, in Barcelona's recent history. So this is game 1, the revenge for that game. Secondly, the game, ironically enough, is being played at the new camp. So let's see how that works out. But lastly, Barca has to win because they need to start making grounds and start putting themselves around that position. Frankfurt, it's been a very rough start. Of course, beating Gala in the first game, and I think everyone had them, oh wow, like they've got some great bunch of players, young talents. Of course, Ozan, what's his name? The German guy? I think his name is the Turkish/German. Or he's still injured. I think he's still injured. Where is he? Yeah, Uzun. And he's been injured, I believe. Yeah, he's been injured for a while now. But this is a massive game for Barcelona. I do think Barcelona is going to win this game, and I'm going to go with the Barca win. Speaking of big games, and speaking of games that could potentially get you sacked, because this isn't the only this isn't the only game that's gonna happen. Hey, wait a little bit more, because there's one more game which, if they lose, hey man, sacking time. Of course, Liverpool is coming into this game with a lot of drama. You've seen the result against Leeds. You've seen the headline straight after with Mo Salah, and you've seen what came out yesterday that Liverpool apparently is back in onslaught. I've seen that story before. I've seen when a player comes out and says something, a big player comes out and says what he wants to say. The club straight away says, oh, we're backing the manager. Most of the time, that never happens. Most of the time, it's just a PR answer. It's just a professional answer. And about a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now, Massimo is done. Onslaught now is on thin ice. 2 more results, in my personal opinion, is basically gonna decide and determine that he's out. This is one of them, because as bad as Liverpool has been in the Premier League, at least in the Champions League, they've basically, where are they? Right there, picked up 3 wins out of 5. And one of them was against Real Madrid. So you kinda, with 2 more wins, you're gonna be in top 8. So that is the only reason why I feel like he still has managed to buy time. But if you lose today's game against Inter, and other teams around you or the teams above you makes that little increased lead, and the gap becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you lose the next Premier League game, it's pretty much done, especially because the team morale at Liverpool is not the greatest, it's not the best. Bro, it's done. I don't understand how you still have him managing your team. Like, he should have been sacked a couple of weeks ago. The fact that he's still here is mind-baffling to me. Anyway, the game against Inter Milan, I'm pretty sure Salah's going to start. There is no way in hell Salah's not going to be starting. So I expect Salah to start this game, and I expect him to start the game against Brighton, where before he goes to AFCON. And this is a massive game, by the way. Massive game because Inter Milan has been very great, especially in the Champions League, of course. 4 wins out of 5, and one more win for Inter. You pretty much cement yourself in a good position. And this is when everyone thought that Inter would do badly, especially with Kiva coming in. I know Inzaghi. And, bro, I always felt that Inter was going to do well because of the schedule which they had. It was an easy, doable schedule for them. And even in Serie A, they've done pretty well as well. I'm pretty sure they're first now. A second. Napoli won yesterday. Napoli won. They're second. So Inter, despite that little rough patch of Milan and Atleti, they've managed to pick up 3 crucial wins, especially beating Como, which isn't easy. So this game, there is no world I see Liverpool winning. No world I see Liverpool winning. I'm going to go with an Inter Milan. Or my second prediction, I'm shameless. I think Liverpool will win, or Mo Salah's going to score. Basically, have a massive game, and basically come after the game and say, "I told you so." So it's either going to be an Inter dominant performance, or Mo Salah coming and scoring 2 goals, 1 assist, 3-1, 4-1 in Liverpool, and then Mo Salah coming after the game and said, "Listen, I told you so. I'm not the problem. He is." So, and I hope, by the way, it's the second rather than the first prediction. Then we've got Monaco versus Galatasaray. Gala, I think, are in a very, very good position. Actually, no, they lost the last game. Yeah, I remember. That was the early kickoff of the last game week where they lost against Union at home. I'm very, very surprised. Monaco, look at this, man. Look at this run. What a bad run, especially in Paphos where they drew, which they should have never drawn that game. The Spurs one, it was very bad. They had so many chances to win it off. City, they came, of course, they scored that last minute penalty. For Monaco, this is basically a now or never. Now or never. If you don't win now, then I still think they'll be part of the playoff, but if you want to be close, like if you want a good draw, because the playoffs is basically decided on if you finish at the top end of the playoffs, you verse teams around the bottom ends. So you wanna basically, bro, you can't put yourself in that position because you should know that some of the big teams like Barca, Liverpool, Atleti, Newcastle, City, they might be Real Madrid. They might end up finishing in that little top 5 playoffs run. So you want to cement yourself in a good position. I think for that game, I'm going to go with a Monaco win. Then we have PSV versus Atletico. PSV at home, by the way, has done very well in the Champions League. They've done pretty well in the Champions League, to be fair. Look at them. Yeah, look at this. PSV are currently 15th. Look at this. Big win against Napoli. Big win against Liverpool as well. And I think they had a draw. Where is it? Oh, this one, yeah. So they've only had what? 2 home games? Yeah, they've had only 2 home games. I do think this game, Atleti, they're coming off of back-to-back losses against both Barca and Bilbao. I'm going to go with a PSV win on this one. I think PSV will surprise the whole world, and I think PSV will win this one. Spurs versus Slavia Prague. Spurs picked up a massive, very much needed win against Brentford, and that was their best performance of the season. The last time they played in the Champions League, they won against Copenhagen, and I think they will win today. Bro, Spurs had a very easy run in the Champions League. The fact that they're not, where are Spurs? Where are they? Spurs are currently, where's Spurs? Spurs are currently 16th. The fact that they're 16th is bad, bro. Look at this, bro. They should be literally here. Spurs, they should be here. Their schedule is so easy. The fact that they're not is embarrassing. I'm going to go with Spurs win. And the last game of Tuesday is between Union and Marseille. I'm going with a Marseille win. Then we've got Wednesday's games. And we start with Kairat versus Ajax. And I can't lie. Ajax, you are the biggest example of cheeks. You are the biggest example of fries in the back. Yeah? Ajax, we need a documentary. We need a Netflix special of how bad Ajax must have been over the past couple of years. How do you go from a golden generation and from going to the semi-finals of the Champions League, beating Real Madrid, beating Juve, and being very close to reach the final, and then literally being where you are right now, where you've got scrubs. You've got basically, who the hell are these players? Who starting for the team. Like, there needs to be a Netflix special because this is embarrassing. Kairat will win this game. Villarreal versus Copenhagen. Villarreal have done very, very well in La Liga. La Liga, they're killing it. La Liga, they're absolute killing it. But in the Champions League, they're not. In the Champions League, they sit with only 1 point, and they need to make up ground, especially if they want to be part of their playoffs. And it starts basically with this game. I do think Villarreal win this game. Then we've got Bilbao against Paris Saint-Germain. Bilbao in the Champions League hasn't been great. Even La Liga, to be fair. I don't know how they beat Atleti. Atleti must be so bad for Bilbao to beat you. I'm going to go with the Paris Saint-Germain win. Leverkusen versus Newcastle. This is actually a very good game because both of them are in a very similar-ish position. Yeah, very, very similar-ish position. Leverkusen with 8 points, Newcastle with 9 points. And a win for either club today will basically, depending on how the last 2 games goes for both clubs, you can basically, I wouldn't be surprised if Newcastle or Leverkusen finish in top 8 because of this win and the next, and the schedule which they have coming up. I'm going to go with a Leverkusen win on this one. Benfica versus Napoli. Jose finally picked up his first 3 points in the Champions League, and Conte is currently with 7 points in the Champions League. Like, Conte Champions League, we all know what that time is. I can't lie, yeah? I think that win, and by the way, they had a massive win because I remember they drew against Sporting. Ooh. But that win basically is putting that win is giving Porto a healthy lead. Wow. But I remember this win where they scored two goals. Yeah, I watched the highlights of this game. I personally think my prediction is I think Benfica will win, bro. I don't trust Napoli. I don't trust Conte in the Champions League. Like, what they do in Serie A is very great. Beating, of course, Juve last game. But in the Champions League, bro, they're so inconsistent. They're so unreliable. I'm going to go with the Benfica, especially Benfica playing at home. Then Dortmund against Bodo Glimt. Let's just go straight into it. I think Dortmund's going to win this game. Then we have a massive game between Club Brugge and Arsenal. Arsenal, you see what they've done in the Champions League. Very great, right? Look at this. Great run. But hey, Arsenal, the last couple games, not so great. Of course, 1-1 against Chelsea. They had 11 players against 10 for 60 minutes of the game. They couldn't even do anything. And then Aston Villa, they had moments to win, but they lost their first loss, I think, since the Liverpool game. So at the moment, Arsenal in the league, you had a healthy lead. Everyone thought the Premier League was yours. Everyone thought that lead was going to be increased. And now it's only 2 points above City. Now, the Champions League, can you make it up? Can you just bounce back, get some momentum, and hopefully that might carry onto the league? Club Brugge away it's not easy. Barcelona knows about it. And I think and Atalanta, was it Atalanta or Monaco, which they beat in the first game? Let's have a look. They beat, where are they? Club Brugge are currently, Monaco. But the thing is, with Arsenal, like, I still think they'll win, man. I still think they'll win, and I'm pretty sure. You know what? Let's not. Why are we trying to gas it up? Why are we trying to overthink it, bro? Arsenal to win this game. Arsenal's going to win like 2-0, 1-0 or 2-0. Juve against Paphos. Juve must win. They must. There is no ifs, buts, maybes. There's only one absolute, and you have to win. That win against Bodo Glimt was so crucial because you put yourself at least in a playoff contention. But you have to win this game if you want to make it closer and closer to be, bro. It's not hard to be, bro. Look at this, bro. It's not hard. 2 wins and you've got a chance to finish top 8. That's why it starts with Paphos, and I think Juve will win. And then the last game, the biggest game, Real Madrid versus Manchester City. Manchester City versus Real Madrid. If you guys remember what I said about Onslaught, one game, that game could potentially decide your fate. It's the same here. Because a loss here is looking long. It's looking peak. But I'm going to be doing this preview on my main channel. It's going to be out in the next 2 to 3 hours. So if you guys want to watch the preview of this game, make sure you go and tune into the main channel because I've got a lot to say about this game. And this video is already about 90 to 20 minutes long, so I don't want to waste any more of your time on this video. But I've predicted every single one of those games. Let's see which teams will put themselves in a great position and which teams, after this game week, we can basically say, you know what, top 8 is done. How about you focus on the playoffs and which teams, as I said, KFC, where's my order? Where the hell is my order? Guys, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new to this second channel, and of course, put down in the comments your predictions for all those games. I will see you with a video in the next couple of days. Peace.